Hi everyone, we're going to wait a few more minutes before the presentation starts.
Okay, Andrian, do you want to kick us off now?
Sure. Welcome everyone to our webinar, Muscle Up Mail Merge Capabilities for Knockout Document Generation. My name is Andrian. I'm Marketing Project Manager at Xpertdoc. The webinar is hosted by Xpertdoc and our partner, Syncretech Solutions. During the presentation, everyone will be muted, but you can ask a question at any time using the chat box. It's my pleasure now to introduce you to Ian Smith, owner and president of Syncretech, which is a Microsoft Dynamics CRM and cloud IT services provider located in the Philadelphia area. Ian will now introduce you to Francis Dion, founder and CEO of Xpertdoc.
Thank you, Andrian. It's a pleasure, everybody, to host this presentation today. Again, thanks for the introduction. Syncretech is a Microsoft Dynamics CRM Silver partner in the greater Philadelphia area. We're a full-service CRM solution specialist. And as part of that role, we look for technology partners that have complementary products that can work with CRM to boost the productivity of the systems that our clients are working with. Examples of other technology solutions that we've implemented for CRM include email marketing with Click Dimensions and customer portals for ADX Studio, and mapping applications, data cleansing, data archiving, dashboards, reporting, mobility. So this led us to the discovery of Francis's company, Xpertdoc, which is based in Montreal, and the folks at Xpertdoc have been delightful to work with. We immediately recognized the potential for creating documents more efficiently from CRM using this technology. It can be used for quotes, contracts, general correspondence, and what we really like about it is that it alleviates the troublesome mail merge document generation and replaces it with technology that allows for one-click generation of the documents, automated generation of the documents using workflows, or also documents that can be created in a batch mode. We're privileged today to have Francis Dion speaking to us about this product. Francis is the founder and the CEO of Xpertdoc Technologies, Inc. He is based in Montreal, and he's a graduate from MIT's Sloan School of Business. And I understand it's a beautiful day in Montreal today, Francis.
Yes, it is, Ian. Thank you very much, and glad to be here today.
So let's, if you don't mind taking it away.
All right, absolutely. So thank you, everyone, for taking this time away from your busy schedule to attend this session today. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the out-of-the-box situation of mail merge and how, in general, you can extract content out of CRM and put that into either reports or any kinds of documents. And then we're going to have a very short demonstration of doing the same thing, but with the Xpertdoc managed solution, and so that you'll be able, I'm pretty sure, to appreciate the difference in the value that our solution brings to this great platform. So I'm just so quickly check that everyone saw my screen. I'll move to slide number 2, and assuming everything is all right, we'll just continue forward. So CRM is, as most of you probably already experienced, is a great technology. It's what we call a digital champion, but with one fatal flaw, which is it's kind of very difficult to generate letters, to generate documents, proposals out of the CRM system using the out-of-the-box capabilities. The official answer, of course, is mail merge, which is comes free with the tool, is integrated and readily available. But this is what customers are saying about the mail merge capabilities in CRM. This one is by far my favorite quote, where someone actually told us that their internal manual on how to do a mail merge is thicker than the documents that they produce with it. And so obviously there's something that's not quite right here. And this is just one of many comments that we receive, like difficulties to scale, a bit clunky, not easy to work with, 23 clicks to generate a single document. Obviously, this is something that one might hope for something a bit more efficient here. Need to enable macros, which could be a concern from an IT security perspective, because we all know that macros can essentially make your entire organization susceptible to viruses, computer viruses. Then the accessing to the fields is kind of limited, limit on the number of fields, but also the location of this data. So if you want to, basically the mail merge allows you to do to leverage the current entity plus or minus 1 in the data model. But if you want something that is further out in the hierarchy of the CRM data architecture, mail merge essentially won't be able to help you. Then it's just overall very, very difficult. So let's see what we mean by that. And what I'm going to do is I'll actually do a mail merge from CRM. So I'm now in Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2015. This is the CRM online implementation. But the capabilities that I'm about to show you have basically been the same since probably version 4, maybe even version 3 of CRM. Those of you that are on CRM 2013 will find this interface familiar. Those of you that are on CRM 4 or 2011, well, you get to see the new look and feel of the modern version of Microsoft Dynamics CRM. But let's do a mail merge. So what I have here is basically just a sample quote that I've configured inside of CRM, and I'm now going to use this here, which is print quote for customer. And For those of you that have not done a mail merge before, one of the fun exercise that you might want to do is try and count how many clicks it takes me to perform a mail merge from an already configured quote in CRM. So I'll start by selecting these options here, which is print a customer quote. Then I'm here presented with a couple of options that are not immediately clear, but let's say I'm going to go to organization mail merge template. So I'm assuming that my organization, I've made something available to me. Now I'm going to click here to select a quote, and I have two that are provided to me out of the box from CRM. Then I'm going to, suppose my next step is going to be download now. And now Internet Explorer is asking me if I really want to do that. So I'm guessing yes. So I'm going to open this document. So you see that it's popping up Microsoft Word. So I need to have Word set up and configured properly on my computer in order to do a mail merge, even from CRM Online. Now, this document looks a little bit weird. This is certainly a bit daunting, what I'm seeing on the right-hand side here. So I see that Word has opened this document in a protected view. So again, I'm assuming I need now to enable editing and see what happens next. Okay, now I have a security warning. That's a little bit ominous. So I'm going to trust the solution and just hit enable content. And here I have some instructions in the document that tells me to find the add-ins tab, mailings tab, or the mail merge template that I selected. So I'm going to go to add-ins and click CRM. So you have to remember that this is something that any one of your salespeople, for example, will need to go through these steps every single time that they wanted to send out a quote to a customer. So this is just not a one-off setup process. This is every single time I want to produce a new quote. These are the steps I need to go through. Now, I'm presented here with mail merge recipients, so I'm not sure exactly what my options are here, but let's just say that I'm accepting everything that is popped up by default. Now, this is my template, essentially, where you see that I'm going to have my potential customer here, effective date, and then some product information in this table here. So on the right-hand side, I don't know if you can see, but there's a mail merge tab that came up. So I'm going to click next to preview my mail merge. And then this is what my document looks like. And then I'm going to complete the merge. And then I'm going to go to a new document, and I'm going to do that for all of my records. And that's it. I've essentially completed my mail merge. Actually, now what I would need to do is either print this document or save it as a PDF and then find a way to attach it to an email and then send it out to my prospect. I'm going to close that. Do you want to save? Yes. It's going to bring me here. Then I'm going to go back to, this is my template. I'm going to close that. So let's say I don't need to save that. And I'm going to close this window. And then I'm back in CRM. And depending on whether or not you counted the steps to close the windows and things like that, you should have arrived at a count of about 20 to 30 clicks, more or less, to execute a single mail merge. And I guess you would also agree that the document that they generated was less than impressive. Let's put it that way. Now, back to my presentation here. So this is mail merge. This is difficult. I mean, yes, you can do it. Yes, it works. Yes, it's out of the box. But it's certainly quirky, many steps, many confusing questions being asked of the users, and this is every single person that needs to produce a quote will need to go through that process every single time. 23 clicks each time, every time, confusing options, This is very much dependent on the user's desktop configuration. So we've seen situation where this would work for one of your users, but then the next salesperson that you hire and provide with a computer for whatever reason will not work on their computer. And then you'll need IT support to figure out what's going on and make this work for that additional user. Now, imagine if you are a large organization and you have hundreds of such users, or thousands maybe, and it quickly becomes burdensome to maintain. And then there's all kinds of limitations in terms of number of merge fields, access to other information available in CRM, etc. Not an ideal situation. Now, many of the organizations, companies that have tried to implement our mail merge in CRM in the past and have hit upon those limitations and that quirkiness, started to look at what's my next best choice, what's the alternative being available to me within CRM, and the logical next step is to go to SSRS, which stands for SQL Server Reporting Services. So it's essentially the reporting engine behind Microsoft CRM. And although this is SSRS is a great technology, it is a tool that is really meant for IT professionals only. The reports need to be set up and maintained by IT using actually our Visual Studio. So you need to have a fully configured development environment with the Microsoft Visual Studio developer tool in order to develop and maintain SSRS reports. SSRS is great for tabular content, so aligning rows of columns. Like for the typical use of an SSRS report is to produce a sales report. So showing my sales by clients, by region, for the last quarter, last year, etc. And so it's great technology. It was meant for these type of scenarios, and it works great for that. Not so great for flowing text, things like letters, things like a proposal where you have a table with elements from let's say the quote order or the quote detail, but then you also have terms and conditions, and maybe you have product specifications and descriptions of alternative options or components that you might want to suggest to your potential customer. So you can do it, and we actually have worked with many organizations that have gone through the process of implementing what essentially would be a simple letter, but then coding that letter into SSRS. And what they found and what they're telling us is that it's typically taking them at least 4 times longer to design and lay out these types of documents in SSRS versus doing that in Word. So from a productivity perspective, it takes quite a bit of time, and it's also engineering time. It's not something that a business user is expected to be able to do. This is really very much tied and tailored for an IT professional. And then finally, one of the other handicap of the SSRS option is that the outcome of an SSRS report is going to be either HTML report or a PDF file, and these output you cannot modify post-production. So in some scenarios, we know of customers that they would produce a quote, let's say, but then they would like the ability, like out of the system, they would pull all the pricing and all of that information out of the system. But then they would also like the ability to go in and add additional context information, maybe a footnote that would clarify one of the options that was put in the quote, and that ability does not exist when you output straight to PDF or HTML. Now SSRS does have an option to output to Word, but again, it's a Word rendition of a PDF file that is really not easy to work with. And so this is for all intents and purposes. You can't really modify the output post-production. And then you have the same distribution challenges as soon as you've created that document. How do you get it to your customers? You can either download it locally and then open it in Adobe and then print it and then all of that, or you can attach it to an email and then send the email, address the email. So all of these steps, again, manual steps, just adding to the delay and also introducing additional potential for errors in delivering this content. So understanding these challenges of the out-of-the-box Microsoft CRM capabilities, thankfully there is an answer, and really Xpertdoc for CRM is really bringing this whole concept of getting content out of CRM and into a document that can drive sales, that can drive relationship and interaction with the customer to a whole new weight class. And let's go back to my CRM environment here. And so I'm at the same quote that I was on earlier when I did the mail merge demonstration. And what I will do now is that I will essentially do the same process, but using Xpertdoc instead. So I'm scrolling down, and the first thing that you're going to see is that I have this document output section, which is really what you get once you install the Xpertdoc solution. Is you have this new tab, this new section that gets embedded seamlessly inside of Microsoft CRM. And now I'm presented with a choice of different templates that I can use. Let's stick with this one that I'm going to use right now. Actually see a preview, a thumbnail of that document that I'm about to generate. I can actually have some instructions, some guidance for the user of the system. This is entirely configurable, by the way, and you'll see a couple more examples of that in a few minutes. And then I can decide whether I want to generate the document as a Word file or as a PDF. And I could, other post actions include sending it automatically for electronic signatures, sending it to a printer, sending it by email, attaching it to SharePoint, all kinds of different options that can be pre-configured for me. So as a user, I open my quote, I put in all the quote details, the products that and the pricing information for that quote, and then I basically just go to my document output section. And let's say that I stick to the default template and output. I just click execute. What's going on right now is that the Xpertdoc solution is extracting the content that was configured for this template out of the CRM system. And this information can come really from any entity in CRM, so we're not limited to just the current entity. We can go, from the quote, we can go to the quote product. From the quote product, we can go to the product catalog in CRM, and then from product catalog, we can go to additional entities like technical specifications in specific languages. And then once it's done, it's basically just offering to me to open the document. So no confusing questions, no multiple steps, no enabling of macros or anything that could put my computer at risk. Just pick your template from the quote and generate the document. And you see, this is a document. This is actually a template that comes out of the box with the CRM solution. We have an ever-increasing collection of those ready-made templates that you can leverage in the context of a quote, an account, a marketing list, invoice. And I believe we are adding opportunities, and we're adding new ones on a regular basis. And so it's pulled things like the quote ID. This is the name of my organization. This is the address of my contact in CRM. Here I have my product details with my pricing information, total amount. Any discounts would also show up if I had configured some. And then that's it. That's how easy it is. Now, if I want to do the same document but with a completely different look, all I have to do is pick another template. Let's go, for example, with the red one. And you see now I have my thumbnail again, and I execute, and you'll see essentially the same document, but in that red theme instead. And all of these documents make the templates are just Word documents augmented with an Xpertdoc plugin, and so you can control exactly the look and feel, put your logo in, all of that, depending on the edition of Xpertdoc that you are leveraging. So let's just open this same quote, but using a different color theme here, same content, but now presented in red instead of blue. All right, so let's look at a completely different scenario. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my Microsoft marketing space. One of the scenarios that we hear quite often from customers is, how do I print labels? Let's say I want to send Christmas cards, for example, to a list of VIP customers. And so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to a marketing list in CRM. And strangely enough, there is no out-of-the-box functionality to that support that within CRM. But then with Xpertdoc, this is fairly straightforward. So what I'm doing now is I'm just going to this marketing list, again, the Microsoft CRM capability. I've added accounts into this marketing list, and then I have configured this entity with the Xpertdoc document output. You see here that I have a template associated with marketing list that is different from the template that was associated with a quote. And then in this case, this is the every 5160 compatible labels. And as I mentioned earlier, when the person that configures the Xpertdoc solution for your users can actually provide additional configuration items. In this case, for example, I can determine whether I want to show the account name or only the contact name, and what should be the source of my address block, because as you know, there are multiple address being captured and maintained in Microsoft CRM. So in this case, you see I have a choice of account, contact, and lead. So let's stick to account. I'm going to switch to, instead of PDF, I'm going to go with an output to Microsoft Word. And then I'm going to, again, launch the production. And so what it's going to do is going to take every account that is associated with this marketing list, and it's going to create an every compatible document for printing labels. Again, that I could use for labeling files in my filing cabinet, for sending out Christmas cards, thank you notes, any scenarios that would make sense. And you see now that these are my 13 accounts that I've added to my marketing list laid out. Now, an interesting twist in that scenario, I'm sure anyone who's printed labels before was vexed by this. Let's say I do this this printout of those 13 labels, and then the next day my boss asked me to do another mail out, maybe to the same list, maybe to another list, and I have this leftover sheet with all of these labels that are unused. And personally, I hate waste, and I hate having to throw away some perfectly good labels. So what I can do is I can actually instruct the solution to start at position 14. And let's see how I do that. So I'm going back to my CRM, and here I'm going to instruct the template to start printing those labels at label number 14. And then I'm going to generate again. And what this is essentially allowing me is that, let's say I had multiple pages of labels to print. The first page would start at position 14, and then the other ones I would use the entire sheet for the following pages. You see here I'm starting at position 14 and then I'm essentially avoiding the vexing prospect of throwing away perfectly good labels, thanks to that nice little twist here. So just to recap, basically what I've done here is that I went to my marketing list in CRM. I leveraged the out-of-the-box Xpertdoc connector integration with marketing list. I use one of the freely available template provided by Xpertdoc for printing labels, and I just configured my printing out of those labels using these options here, and generated my document I can then print on those label sheets. So really, with the Xpertdoc connector for Microsoft CRM, what you get is the opportunity to realize the full potential of your CRM investment, unlocking the potential of all your customer data for impactful, resonant customer communications, eliminating all the unnecessary manual intervention and manipulation of core customer data that you need to do if you were to do a mail merge, or maybe go from CRM to Excel and then do a mail merge from Excel. You can generate those personalized and compliant documents directly out of CRM in a single click, which in my opinion always beats 23 clicks. This is what our customers are saying. This is actually, Sergey is actually one of our very good customer from Husky injection molding systems. These guys are actually generating 1,000 quotes every single month. They are generating these quotes in 10 different languages, including Chinese and Russian and Portuguese. And yes, in Russian, they're leveraging the Cyrillic alphabet, and then Chinese, they're using the right to left way of writing things, and all of that done through Xpertdoc. And basically, they felt that the quotes that they were using to sell their products were not reflecting their image and the value of their great products that they are offering to the market. And using Xpertdoc, they can now include optional modules, and that results in additional revenue per sale. So they project a better, more professional image. They actually sell more with each customer, and in fact, they feel that all of the substantial investment that they made in Microsoft CRM really started to pay off and to be justifiable from an ROI perspective once they were able to efficiently generate these professional revenue-driving documents out of CRM. So this is the bulk of the presentation that we had for you today, and I would now like to open up the floor. If anyone has questions, you can actually use the chat or the question tab and the GoToWebinar interface and ask your questions. While we wait for people to type in their questions, Ian, do you have anything that you want to say or add?
Thanks, Francis. That was a great presentation, as always. And I really like the one quote from your customer that said that they really didn't start to get the payout out of the CRM. They didn't start to realize it until they were generating these documents in such a way that it had a kind of a trifecta of improving their professional image, providing the ability to present optional products for purchase, and being able to do that quickly and efficiently. One of the things I always stress when I'm talking about Xpertdoc is that you can create it with one click, or you can create one document with one click, or you can create documents automatically using the CRM workflow engine, or you can create multiple documents in a batch mode. So maybe Francis, you could just comment or show us where those touch points are in the CRM system.
Yes, absolutely. So I basically, through the demonstration, what I did is I used the more visual aspect of the solution, which is really this document output section here. But one of the other things that we can do, as I mentioned, electronic signature. And so, for example, I can come here and see all the documents that were submitted. In this case, I didn't have any, but I could actually have documents that were submitted for electronic signature and see, whether or not, they've been completed or canceled or rejected by the customer, and then use that to drive my process further. If I go, let me go back to the sales and quotes. And so you see what you see here, the batch execution. Actually, let me go to all quotes here. So when you see the batch execution, it actually allows you to generate the document for like pick a template and execute that template on a number of record. Essentially, either the ones that I selected, I can actually pick some of my system views, like my connections, my quotes, so active quotes, etc. So any system views can really leverage here. Another scenario that's very common is actually Microsoft Dynamics community, the organization behind the CRM user group, a great organization, by the way, if you're not already a member. How they're using Xpertdoc is that whenever their partner partnership agreement expire or about to expire, get to their anniversary date, they have a workflow that triggers automatically that pick up, let's say, every partner or every customer that is due to renew in the next 4 weeks, and then generate for each one of them a personalized letter that remind them of that impending transaction, provide them details about what they had purchased or the level at which they were engaged as a partner in the previous year, and then present them with an easy way to confirm that yes, they want to renew, and then get the invoice also automatically generated out of that workflow process. So there's a lot of depth and capabilities to the tool. So it can be as simple as I want to print out a single quote, or I want to generate the labels for a traditional mail out, all the way to those very sophisticated workflows where different templates are going to be used based on the type of customer, the product that they purchased in the past, and then the offering and the options to renew and purchase, do upsells and purchase more from my organization. All get automated and driven through that workflow process and the demographics and preference of each customer or each partner. Adrian, do we have any questions on from the attendees?
Yes, we have quite a few actually. So someone's asking, is there any record or activity logged on the contact, say that logs that the contact was involved in a mailing?
So that's an interesting question. So yes, when you generate a document, let's say it's a quote, and you want the quote to be sent automatically. One of the things that Xpertdoc does is it leverages the Microsoft CRM emailing capability. So essentially, there will be an email record that will identify the salesperson, let's say, responsible for that email, but also the recipient, so the contact to which the quote is being sent. Another thing that we can do is, once we've generated the document out of CRM, we can also create new records and adapt or update the records in CRM. For example, we could create a task for someone to follow up with that customer automatically 2 days or 2 weeks later. Or we could also create an order record for someone to complete once the customer has accepted the quote, things of that nature.
Thanks, Francis, for that answer. I also have someone asking, is it possible to email a document from Xpertdoc?
Yes, it is. So there's 3 ways that you can email a document from Xpertdoc. One is, as I just mentioned, you can leverage the integration of Xpertdoc and CRM and send a CRM-driven email to that recipient. The second way of doing that is you can just very easily configure Xpertdoc to talk to any SMTP, so it's a small mail transport protocol. So SMTP server could be your Exchange server or Office 365 server, and send an email automatically through that, independent of CRM. And the third and the best way, if you do mass mailing, you want to do mass mailing to hundreds of people or more out of the Xpertdoc solution, is to leverage a third-party emailing service such as ClickDimension.
Okay, we have time for a couple more. Can the solution generate documents from other entities, including custom ones?
Yes, so obviously I'm showing you today the out-of-the-box integration between our Xpertdoc and our CRM, but then there is a straightforward process by which you can actually deploy the Xpertdoc solution, so that surface that document output tab, or that generate document option in the context of any entity in CRM, including our custom ones. And then from a single template, you can tap the entire data model of CRM. So both custom entities and custom fields are supported.
Thanks, Francis. Can you show us how a quote can be produced for approval and signature?
Let me see. I don't know that I have a quote configured here for e-signature, but I think I might have that for an account. So let me see if I can do that from an account. So bear with me a second here. So I'm now navigating to the account section. So you see here, this is actually an interesting scenario. So these are the out-of-the-box templates that come in the context of an account. These are non-disclosure agreements. But you see here that I can actually have other list of templates, and these would be based on the security configuration that some people in your organization may have access to some documents or sub-templates, and others might not. So here, what I'm going to do, electronic signature. I'm going to do that using immediate presentment, which means that I'm going to be presented with the opportunity to sign the document myself. In a more normal scenario, the document would actually be sent by email to another party. So this is Francis here. So, and then you see I can configure things like, do I want people to be able to sign using their finger or mouse or a pen on the touch device, or just by typing their name, their email address, or some other information that will confirm their approval of the terms of that document. So Again, same process. I basically just pick my template. I'll pick my options if I'm not satisfied with the default ones. Now I'm executing the template, which means essentially I'm extracting content from CRM, merging that into a document, augmented. In that case, the document gets augmented with the details, the requirements for the electronic signature, and then the document is submitted to one of our e-signature partner. We actually have out-of-the-box integration with Azure Sign and eSign Live, and then let me just see what's going on here. Did I generate this document or not? I believe because I'm running CRM in a protected mode, it may have blocked my pop-up here. So let me just see if my document came up. In my inbox, and there it is. So I've essentially been invited and to sign this document, which is what I'm showing you as soon as my email will agree to collaborate with us. And essentially what you will see, I will walk through the process of actually signing the document, and then bringing the signed document back into CRM, and having it also the details of me signing this document today will also be available in CRM, including any question that might be asked of me through the signature process. So you see here, I received this personalized message. I'm going to begin signing. And then at the end of the process, I'm going to have not only the document completed, but also the signed document in CRM, but also be able to trigger workflows for, let's say, provisioning, sending out the products, or contacting the customer, whatever needs to happen next. And so here I'm going to sign. I'm going to use here my mouse. Let's say I'm John Smith today. And you see that I'm seeing essentially what I'm signing, where I'm signing it, and then once I continue and finish, you'll see that I'm going to just go back to CRM. I'm going to go to my electronic signature section. So you see now that this is my signing step is in progress for the document that I just generated. So I'm going to just select it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh the signature status, and you'll see that it'll go from in progress to completed. And once it's completed, I can actually come here, and as I said, I can capture all kinds of information, and then use this metadata of the signature process to actually drive the the provisioning of that transaction that was just completed. And then the other thing that I can do, I actually have access to the document itself. And what I'm popping up now is the signed document, and as you can see, there is a bunch of interesting information. So not only me signing the document, but the exact date and time in the universal format of when I completed these transactions, the IP address of the computer from which I did it, and a unique identifier of, again, me signing this document at this time from this computer. And we would have captured those 3 pieces of information for every signatories if there had been more than one signature required for this document. And then this is essentially what makes this as legally binding, as valid, if not more, than committing ink to paper. And by the way, every party to the transaction also receive an email similar to that, also configurable confirming that the document has been completed, and can also be downloaded directly from that email.
Thanks, Francis, for that compelling demonstration. We still have time for maybe 2 questions, or maybe 3. One's pretty interesting, Francis, you'll find. Does it exist in French? Someone's asking.
So I don't know if you can hear it from myself and Andréane, but the Xpertdoc is actually headquartered in Montreal, Canada, and where French is the first language of many people around here. And so yes, the solution is available in French, and actually we can generate documents. As I said, Husky is actually generating documents in Chinese and Russian, and we have people using it in the Persian Gulf with Arabic. So yes, I mean the multilingual capabilities of Microsoft Word and the Xpertdoc solution are pretty native to our way of doing business.
One other question is, can you create e-documents from selected records in a view?
So this one, I don't think that I'll be able to demo that, because I don't know that I am set up for that in this environment. But the short answer is going to be yes. There's always different ways that we can accomplish all kinds of different scenarios. So I know that we can do this from a system view, and I'm pretty sure that there is a way of doing it also by selecting records, specific records from a view. But if the person that asked that question wants to send us an email after the presentation, we'll follow up with them with the details of how we can actually accomplish that. One of the things that we've done in the past, just so you know, is that if you remember the record that I had here. Let me go back one level here at my accounts. So one of the things that we can do is we can actually provide a list, like a checkbox list of records in CRM into the document output segment, and then allow the user to pick and choose which ones they want to print for. So as I said, I mean, there is I'm not set up to demonstrate that today, but this is definitely something that we can accomplish.
I'm sorry, Francis, about the language question I asked you before. The person was talking about the interface, not the documents. Sorry, it's my misunderstanding.
So yes, both the interface for designing the documents and the content of the form can be in any language. I believe that the latest the Portal 3 version is currently probably only available in English, but the French version is coming up, I believe, by the beginning of the summer. So we're 1 or 2 months out for the French version of the Xpertdoc portal interface. But pretty much everything in the experience of the user interacting with the solution within CRM can be in French, and the design of the template itself is also available in French today.
Okay, we still have time for one more real quickly. Can the production of a document be triggered for more than one record?
So I think the answer is yes. Again, it could be either through a workflow or it could be through the batch process that I've highlighted earlier, or through a checkbox list that would be dynamically configured within the smart form interface embedded inside of CRM. So no matter what the requirements are, one of our motto at Xpertdoc is that there is always a way, and oftentimes that is an out-of-the-box capabilities, and if it's not, then we're more than happy to work with you and figure out the best way to accomplish that. All right, so I guess we're getting to the top of the hour. Ian, do you want to make any closing comments?
Sure. Thanks again, Francis. This presentation has been recorded, and I'm sure we can send out a link to that or post it on our respective websites. And also, if you're lucky enough to see Francis in person, he's often traveling around the country and maybe the world presenting. Also on the Xpertdoc website, there's a number of other videos and white papers available for download or viewing. We didn't talk about the pricing of the product, but I can assure you it's very reasonable, and also that Xpertdoc has excellent support. And with Synchrotech, you also have local consulting implementation expertise. So pretty much the whole package. And again, Francis, thank you for an excellent presentation today.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Ian, Francis, thank you very much for that presentation, and thanks everyone for joining us today. So make sure to visit xpertdoc.com/CRM to find out more about our CRM solution and start using it for free.
Thanks, Andréan. Take care, everybody.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.